What's up, YouTube? Kingler Champ here, and welcome to another PMU League match. This one's against Box of the Gold Coast Gyrados, and this one was a lot closer than week one. There was good plays on both sides. I think, honestly, all around, I think I brought a better team. And I think I was way more prepared for this battle than I was prepared for week one. Week one, I kind of just went into it thinking that I had the right mons, but I don't think I played it as smart as I really should have. But this one, I decided to change it up a bit. I figured I'd try to run a Trick Room team. I figured the only Pokemon on his teams that would be slower than mine would be the Rhyperior and the Moongus. And when I was looking at the mons that I figured he'd bring the Magmortar, and I also thought he would bring obviously the Mega Blastoise. That's his Mega on his team. I also thought that he would bring the Cobalion. I thought he was going to bring the Garbodor, but it makes more sense for him to bring the Moongus. Also thought possibly the Gyarados, which is why I really brought Rotom, but I thought this one was a lot better. So let's go ahead and see how the battle went. So we got some pretty intense music. Box is issuing a challenge. I'm like, bring it on, Box. So I lead with Whirlpool, the Rotom. He leads with Sheldon, his Mega Blastoise, which I'm like, all right, this is perfect. So I decide that I think I went for a Volt Switch here, because I figured I wanted to scout what he wanted to do. So he gives out into the Moongus, which is a good counter to Rotom. So I go for it, go for the Volt Switch, switch out, and then I decide I might as well go into Levitate the Bronzong, who does have Levitate, which you'll see later on that will come into effect. So he goes for a Spore, and I'm like, okay, that's fine. I mean, this Amoonguss doesn't have anything that can do it to me. It can't Toxic me. I mean, if it has Leech Seed, it can do that, but I doubt it has Leech Seed. Probably has Spore, Toxic, Sludge Bomb, Giga Drain. It's probably the moveset this thing's running. So he goes ahead and switches out. Bronzong was a very big problem for his team. So he goes out into the Rhyperior, which is an okay move if he would have went into his Magmortar and actually predicted me being Levitate instead of Heat Proof. I think that's the main reason he switched into Rhyperior here. I think he wanted to set up his Stealth Rocks and then go for an Earthquake. So I decide, okay, right here I'm going to go for the Trick Room. So I twisted the dimensions. He goes for the Earthquake, finding out that I am actually Levitate, which is very funny. So I go for the Gyro Ball, which I don't know if Gyro Ball does as much when it's when the Trick Room's up. I need to look into that. I probably could have ran something better. So Gyro Ball doesn't do anything to this thing, so I'm like, oh great. So he goes for a Stone Edge. I go for an Earthquake. I'm like, okay, let's see if Earthquake does any more. So Earthquake does do more. This thing is a tank. Has leftovers, and I'm like, I don't know what I want to do to this thing. So he decides to switch out. Goes back into Shroom, and I'm like, okay, that's very interesting to me. But you know what? I'm just going to go for another Earthquake. See how much that does to Shroom. He has a very bulky team. That was his basis on his team, was very much bulk. So he's getting some Black Sludge back. I decided to switch out. You know, I probably could have stayed in with Bronzong, but he was just going to go for another Spore. So I decided to go into Rufus. I'm not sure why I named him Rufus. I brought him as Luda the first week, but he goes for the Foul Play, which is very interesting. I'm like, okay, that's something different. So I decided to go for a Rapid Spin, get the rocks out of my side of the field. I forget what I was running on my Donphan, but he does go for the Giga Drain, gets a critical hit, unfortunately. So that's going to make Rufus pretty much obsolete for the rest of this battle. I mean, I'm just going to go for a knockoff here, get rid of the Black Sludge. I figured that was probably the best thing that could happen. And knockoff did a whole lot to this Shroomish, so it was kind of good. So I did get rid of the Black Sludge. It's not getting its health back, so I decided to go to Super Hot. I'm in here with an Air Balloon, so he switches out. I think he decides to go into his own Magmortar here. He did. So So he goes out into his own Magmortar here. I believe I had Shadow Ball, Flamethrower, Energy Ball, and what's my other move? I forget. So he goes for a Hidden Power here, which I'm not sure what it was. I wrote it down, but I'm not sure what it had. I just knew it was HP something. So I decided, oh, Trick Room was my last night. So I decided right here is a perfect opportunity to set up Trick Room. I don't think this thing has very much to do to me. It did get rid of my Air Balloon, which is unfortunate, but I'm able to go for another Shadow Ball because I'm now faster, luckily. So that's a Magmortar down, and we're looking okay. 5-5. He goes out into his Sheldon, which I'm kind of scared of. So I decided to switch out. I could have gone for an Energy Ball there, but I decided that I'm going to go into Whirlpool. I figured that was a smarter move. So he goes ahead and Mega Evolves. Now gets the Mega Launcher ability. And gets a little more bulk. So he goes for a Scald here, which is whatever. I mean, unless he gets the burn. But wait, he got it. Of course, some hacks coming in here. You know how I am. So I get burned. I mean, I have leftovers, so it's kind of just neutral. It just basically knocked off my leftovers. But he switches out here. Doesn't want to take a Volt Switch or a Discharge, which is understandable. So I decided to go for a Will-O-Wisp here, which I didn't really care who it went on. I don't care if it went on the Blastoise or the Shroomish. It's kind of good that it went on the Shroomish. You know, just get some residual damage done. And because it doesn't have Black Sludge anymore, I figured that was probably one of the better things. So I'm getting hurt by burn. He's getting hurt by burn. He goes for a Foul Play here. That does nothing. I decided Volt Switch out, which is probably good because I barely took any damage from that Foul Play. And I'm not getting any burn damage from this turn. So I do get the switch. Go out into Iron Man. I figured this thing probably has nothing to do to me other than put me to sleep. And I'm like, I'm perfectly okay with that. So, Dimensions turn back to normal. No more Trick Room. Luckily, I am still faster than some of his Mons. So, the half Trick Room, like, kind of worked. So, I decided to go for a Pursuit here. I thought he was going to switch out. But I did get a crit, which was very helpful. He does go for the Spore, which was unfortunate, because I'm going to be asleep. And I was praying. I'm like, oh, please give me turn 1 Wake Up. I figured he was going to switch out here. Probably should have went for Pursuit, and maybe I wouldn't have woke up. But probably should have went for Pursuit there, anticipating him switching out. He does go into Rhyperior. I'm still asleep, so I didn't get the turn 1. I'm like, okay, I'm just going to go for... I either went for Bullet Punch or U-Turn this turn. I can't remember. But it doesn't matter because I was fast asleep. So I get two turns of sleep. Does go for the Stone Edge. Does about over a third. And I'm like, okay, let's go for a U-turn. Luckily I wake up, so third turn, wake up, get the U-turn off. Does do a decent amount, honestly, to this Rhyperior. Decide to go into Toad's Dad, which is the Venusaur. Take an Earthquake. It wasn't... That Earthquake did a lot more than what I wanted it to do. Luckily, I'm faster. I believe. I'm faster. Yeah, I'm faster, so I go for the Giga Drain. Can take out this Rhyperior. So I'm going to gain a good portion of my health back. This thing is very bulky, and Giga Drain was perfect against this thing. Probably should have switched into Venusaur earlier in the match, but it's okay. So it goes out into Thor. His Thundurus, which I'm not really sure what I wanted to do to it. I've never really had to deal with Thunduruses that much. But it does go for the Sludge Wave. I decided to go for a knockoff. I'm like, whatever this thing has, I want to get off of it. Does do a decent amount. So I get rid of his Expert Belt. Then he decides to go for a Thunderbolt, which I'm not sure what his thought process was here. But he does get the Para off of Thunderbolt, which is very unfortunate. And then I go for a Sludge Bomb. Takes out the Thor, the Thundurus, and it was very unfortunate that I got the Paralyze off the Thunderbolt. So switches out into Shroomish, who's gained some health because of the Regenerator ability. Or not Shroomish, Amoonguss. He goes for a Sludge Bomb. I go for a Synthesis here. I'm like, you know what? I want to keep Venusaur. Venusaur is definitely going to be a big help in this battle. You know, we have already taken down 3 of his 6 Mons. So he decides to switch out. Goes into Sheldon. And I'm like, this thing probably wants to Ice Beam me. Luckily it's... And then I forget what move I went through. I want to say I went for Sludge Bomb. So I wasn't able to get a Sludge Bomb off on this Venusaur. He goes for an Ice Beam, which I figured I could take, so I decided to just stay in. He does get the crit, and then I get paralyzed again when I was going for the Giga Drain. So I get double parried when I was trying to take down Samon. So he ends up going for another Ice Beam, takes me out. And that was very unfortunate. This Blastoise and the Amoonguss should have been gone. It's okay. I decided to go into Whirlpool. I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to discharge. Whatever he wants to send in, I'm just going to discharge. So he goes for a Hidden Power, which I guess was Hidden Power Grass? That makes sense. Hidden Power Grass. So I go for a discharge. Does a decent amount. Unfortunately, it does not take it out. And I'm taking burn damage, so I wasn't sure what to do here. So I decided to switch out. Try to save Whirlpool as Death Fodder, maybe. Switch out to Iron Man. Goes for a Scald, and I'm having flashbacks to last week, and I'm like, oh man, I'm gonna get burned, aren't I? And I do. Iron Man's been burned twice, and it hasn't been a good time. So he switches out. I go for a Bullet Punch here, I'm pretty sure. I probably should have went for the Pursuit. Actually, I don't know if I was running Pursuit this time. I think I was running Swords Dance, Bullet Punch, U-Turn. Maybe Pursuit. I can't remember. But so I go for a Bullet Punch, get some residual damage off, and then the burn kills me. And this Shroomish is almost dead. I'm like, oh my, I'm tired of this thing. So I decided to go to Super Hot. I know at this point I'm faster than this Shroomish. So I go for the Flamethrower, take that thing out. The thing should have been gone a while ago, but it's okay. Chandelure coming in, getting a kill. So he then sends back out his Blastoise, and I don't think I'm faster. I forget. So he goes for a Scald here, and I'm like, okay, this is not good. So Super Hot goes down. Unfortunately, I don't remember if I thought I was faster or what was going on. But I decided to go to Whirlpool, who's going to take another Scald, and that's going to kill him. And now we're not looking good at all. Not looking good at all. So I go to Levitate. I'm like, okay, at least I can take down this Blastoise, hopefully. So he goes for the Scald and gets another burn. He burned 3 of my 6 Mons, at least. And I decided to go for a Trick Room here. I'm like, okay, maybe I can switch dimensions and then be faster. So, and somehow he went first twice. I'm not sure what happened that he went first twice, but he went first twice and gets the Scald. And I lost this week 2-0. Unfortunately, it should have been... I thought I had him, honestly. I thought I was doing real well. But unfortunately, the hacks came through on his side. He acknowledged it. He said, I'm sorry, I didn't want to battle you that way. But like I said, it's just kind of how battles go for me. I always get hacked out. I don't know. I never get hacks on my side, I feel like. But maybe that's just me. Maybe it's coming. In the later weeks, I'll become this hacks god and be able to destroy everyone in my path. So I hope you all enjoyed. Baltimore Blastborns starting off 0-2. Hopefully we can bring it back. But I'll see you in the next league video if that's all you watch. But I also upload some other stuff in the meantime, so you might want to check those out as well. Make sure you subscribe and like if you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time. Peace out, everybody.